Welcome back to another episode of the Paranormal Journals, only here on Black Mass Paranormal. Now, I just realized that it has been a while since I have done one of these, at least, for me. I know some creators go like months without posting anything, but that's not me. That's not how I am. Before my life's craziness started, about a month ago, and I've been having to overcome a lot of adversity since then and try to push through things, and trying to get myself and my life back to to normal. Many of you all who have followed my channel know what has been going on with me, but it seems kind of like there's been more and more and more added on here lately, and especially over the weekend, which I'll probably address at the end of the video because I wanted to get right into it. Before all this craziness started, I was working in Frozen Head State Park. Now, Frozen Head is one of those locations that is absolutely freaking amazing. Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary was built there with the idea of it being the Siberia of America, because it's nothing but wilderness and it's a desolate place. There's not going to be a lot of people going there. Even if you were institutionalized there or put in prison there, your chances of escape would be extremely low, because not only do you have to overcome what's inside the prison walls, you have to deal with the forest outside and what's in that forest. Now, in my previous video that I shot probably April of 2023 called the Beast of Brushy, I was there on a ghost hunt. I was looking for spiritual activity happening within the prison, and I had stepped outside, and I was actually just outside of Hymax when I hear this just blood-curdling scream, not once but twice, and I happen to capture it on camera, which is freaking amazing. It was kind of weird how I ended up catching it, because my camera was just rolling. I wasn't pointed at anything, but I managed to capture it. I know I caught that. That was the craziest sound I've ever heard in my life. And there's somebody talking inside here.
Oh, there you are, thank God.
What the fuck was that noise?
I don't know, dude. But it's back here.
Well, let's go. I'm gonna leave that bag there. Dude, that was the scariest shit I've ever heard. Hey?
Yeah, I'm fine. I thought I was dead.
So if you haven't checked that video out, definitely go check that video out. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about Frozen Head and a personal encounter that a gentleman named Buddy had while trying to camp there. So Frozen Head State Park was actually given back to the state in the 1920s to 1930s. Now, the town that it resides in, Petros, or Petros, I always called it Petros, but I got corrected, being called Petros, was actually ran by gypsies. So there is a lot of mystery, a lot of interesting things that happen in this town just on its own, not including the prison and whatever the hell is in that forest. Now, I've had game cams running now for over a month, and I'm a little bit nervous to go get them because I can't even imagine what's on there. My biggest worry is that somebody's taken them, but that's neither here nor there. So this gentleman named Buddy had taken his family camping. Now, I'm not going to give the exact location of where this happened, because I'm planning on another investigation there, and I'm going to try to bring Buddy with me so he can show me exactly where all of this went down. Now, he had taken his family out, and they were at kind of one of these backcountry sites, and the night started off with Buddy hanging up their food, like you should do if you're camping in Frozen Head or anywhere in Tennessee. It prevents bears and prevents animals from getting into it. So Buddy was a previous prison guard. Okay, so we're not talking about your city slicker guy here. He's currently a construction worker. So he's he's gonna know what he's doing out in the woods, and he's not gonna scare you easy either. So after Buddy ties up his food and begins to put his family to bed, everybody gets in the tent, he notices later on in the evening that the knot that he had tied has managed to become untied, and now all of his food's laying on the ground. Now, there's not an animal eating the food. Didn't seem like any sort of disturbance or any cause for the food to fall onto the ground. But nonetheless, the food fell. Now, Buddy said he kind of looked at it, was like, well, that's strange. And it kind of made his antennas start to go up as to there might be actually something going on in these woods. So after the bag fell, Buddy realized that the entire forest is completely silent. Now, this silence fell over the forest for about 2 minutes. He said you couldn't hear a single thing. You couldn't hear any birds chirping, no insects moving around, no mice, nothing. I mean, it was dead silent. And then he noticed that the fire began to fluctuate, getting bigger and getting smaller. And at this point, he really kind of started to get a little bit freaked out about what was happening. At this point, Buddy and his family are back in the tent. As they're sitting there watching the fire dance through the sides of the tent, he notices something sniffing the tent and brushing up against the tent. Now, he has no idea what this is. He's got his family in the tent with him, and he is absolutely terrified at this point, so he begins to pray. Now, I would do the same exact thing. As Buddy begins to pray, whatever was investigating the tent left his immediate area. Now, Buddy immediately jumped up, opened the tent, and started looking around outside, expecting to see some sort of disturbance on the ground where a large animal had just came really close to him and his family. But Buddy didn't find anything. The ground was totally intact. It was like there was absolutely nothing there. So they managed to tough it out and make it through into the next day. Now, as they packed up, Buddy kept thinking about something that had happened to him during the time where this creature, whatever it was up against his tent. Now, this has happened to me on a couple occasions, and it's a very unique experience. It's really hard to describe what happens, but kind of in your mind's eye, it's like you see something, but you're not actually seeing it with your eyes. Now, while this creature was outside his tent, Buddy saw what he described as being an elder, kind of Native American looking man wearing what looked to be like a wolf headdress. Now, this fits the pretty common description of what the Native Americans described as the skinwalker. The question is there a skinwalker actually in Frozen Head? Now, there's no question that there is something in Frozen Head. What this creature is, I don't know, but it's going around and it's killing local wildlife. It's scaring people. There's a lot of people say that it's like some sort of big black jaguar. There's all kinds of tales of this big creature roaming around in the woods out there. So at that point, Buddy and his family, they're packed up. They're freaked out because, they couldn't go down the trail at night. Although Buddy did say that he had this instinct to want to pack up his family in the middle of the night and take them through the woods on this trail. But he stood his ground and he didn't do that, which was smart because that could have ended very badly. After him and his family had packed up and they're heading back down the trail, Buddy looks down and he finds this print that is, he said, larger than the size of his hand. And it had 4 distinct claws. Now, what would cause that being that big? That's a good question. He described it as not being a bear print, not being like a coyote print, because of its overall size and its formation itself. Now, speaking to Buddy, I would trust that he knows what he's talking about. He seems like the type of person who's been in the woods plenty and has hunted and experienced all of this stuff. So he recognizes something that is totally out of the norm. But so with all of this being said, it really, to me, validates my experience, and I'm sure my experience validates him as to what happened to them in Frozen Head State Park. Now, there are tons of other stories about this location. I am going to be diving deeper very soon. I have a lot planned out, but in doing what I do, I have a lot of, I guess, haters is what you call them. I don't know. They're silly people that, like to cause problems. And so something has happened with the channel over the weekend. I'm going to get it all taken care of. I know I'm in the right. It's just these people, I don't know. They just don't have anything better to do, I guess. It makes no sense. So they're not going to slow me down any. If I'm not on the trail, I'm going to be in my studio making videos. So, whatever. If you want to support the channel, I will put the best way to do it in the description. That's, I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying, there's been a lot going on, so I'm trying to get caught up. As far as like the super chats and super thanks things go, I want to say thank you to everybody who has done that. It's a huge help. But I did want to point something out that I learned. So 30% of your donation does not go to me, which I thought was kind of crazy. I don't know. I'm kind of in a position now. It's like, well, do I turn off that, or am I, it's kind of weird. So I have an amazing investigation that it's set in stone. I've already got the funding for. It's, we're going to do it. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to share it with you towards the end of the month. But until then, I'm going to be doing some other stuff, and we'll just kind of see which way the channel goes. So thank you all so much for all of your patience with me, and staying with me and being supportive of me. Your verbal support is means more to me than than anything. And I can't tell you all like how awesome it was to be going through the things that I was going through and getting, you know, the kind words and support and stuff like that. That really means a lot to me, including the messages and, you know, the emails and everything else. So you all are freaking awesome. I love every single one of you. You're great. And yeah, we'll hit it next time.